It's Say.G with Majali, and my guest today is founder and CEO of Kopano Manong Life Coaching Enterprise. Today we'll be talking about social and spiritual coaching, why it is important for every entrepreneur to have a coach, why is it important for every individual to have a coach. Kopano is in the industry and he is here to share with us how he got into the industry, his journey as an entrepreneur, and some of the challenges that he has faced along the way and how he overcome those challenges. Kopano, welcome to Say.G and thank you for choosing to share as you grow.
Thank you for the invitation to come to your show. Yeah, I'm excited about coming to your show.
So please tell us a little bit more about Kopano Manong. Who is he? Where does he come from? Where did you grow up? And where does the passion for entrepreneurship come from?
Working at the orphanage, that's where the passion to communicate with people started. Because I was dealing with serious issues like, those children experiencing abuse, experiencing difficult issues at home that are related to abuse. So that's where I was like, there's some of the issues here are difficult, they need more professional help. Then I talked to the people of the orphanage, then they took me somewhere for training so that I can come better, being modified, so that now I can handle issues like trauma, stress, depression, and so on and so on. Yeah.
So that like almost takes us into what it is that you do. So tell us more about what it is that you do now after having worked with the orphanage, and how long did you work with the orphanage? What do you do now? And tell us a bit more about your business.
I worked at the orphanage for about 3 years. They took me to training. I came back. Then that's when I established my own company, which is called Kopano Manong Life Coaching Enterprise. People have been talking about, enterprises, we know, but in the field of coaching and mentorship, they are very scarce and they are rare. So this is what I do now. You can come to my office, or rather I can go to you, and then I'll send you a quotation as to say how much I'm going to charge per session, depending on the case or the nature of the case. Yeah.
So can you just elaborate more on what is life coaching? What type of coaching do you do in your business, and what type of people do you work with?
All right. I do what we call spiritual and social coaching and mentorship. I deal with people specifically that are experiencing low confidence esteem, the people that don't have confidence, the people that don't believe that they can do it. So my job as a life coach is to make somebody believe that I can do it, I can become somebody. It's about pushing people to their direction of their dreams or to their destinations.
So it's really amazing that you mentioned that you work with people that have low self-esteem and confidence issues, because you see that a lot happening in society where people are affected because they don't have confidence and they can't do a lot of things because they have low self-esteem. So when you say spiritual coaching and mentorship and social coaching and mentorship, how is that different from being a psychologist, and how is that different from being a pastor?
In my case, as a life coach, spiritual and mentorship coaching, it's about dealing with people who are coming from all kinds of communities, but I am specifically dealing with their confidence relating to the environment they live in, coaching them to go to their dreams. Yeah, so that is the difference right there.
So you specifically focus on one area of the social issues that people may have, because there's a lot of social issues that we're facing. So your focus is only with self-esteem and confidence.
No, it's not only about self-esteem and confidence, but it's also about running stuff like career exhibitions, helping kids to follow the right careers, going to school, studying relevant careers,
That's interesting. And just wanted to get more into detail about you as an entrepreneur and what it is that you have faced as an entrepreneur, your journey leading up to COVID-19 and now where we are.
I used to go and host motivational seminars, but due to restrictions, we couldn't do that. I couldn't invite people to attend my seminars at the hall and stuff like that. So automatically, that's a deficit. It's a loss because not making any moolah, you know.
So what are some of the adjustments that you have had to make in your business and in the way that you render your services to people because of the COVID-19 pandemic?
I just decided to do my videos, post in YouTube, or let me say social media as a whole. I continued doing my stuff. I didn't stop because of COVID-19. Yeah, there are people who are still communicating with me on Facebook saying, hi, how are you? Say, how do we deal with this problem? And I say, okay, this is the advice I can give to that problem right now currently. So it isn't yet stopped. The only part that stops is how the money is coming in. Yes.
And looking at the pandemic and the fact that a lot of people have been affected by it, you know, whether personally in terms of close family members or in terms of friends and people in the community that they know. Have you had to now work with people who are affected by COVID-19 directly in terms of now helping them come out of that trauma and in terms of helping them, you know, see some purpose in life again?
I did work with a few people in my community that had COVID-19. They even tested positive for that. So I just made sure that I'm safety first, and then to give hope, to say to a business, you know what, just because you're closing down doesn't mean you'll never get the opportunity to open the business again. Don't look at your fall as the final judgment about your life. There's still another chance. You can still improve. Next time, when the pandemic is better, this is the kind of strategy that you can now approach with.
So you give hope a lot to people, especially about their own lives and about achieving their dreams, right? Do you work with entrepreneurs who are starting up their businesses?
Dealing with entrepreneurs sometimes can be very difficult. Why? Because when they realize that they are not making money, they want to close down the business. They want to shut down the business. When you ask, why do you want to close down the business? It's not making any profit. Yeah, so the problem that I realized, or the greatest challenge in business, people think business is about making money, which is wrong. Business is not about making money, but it's about firstly developing a relationship between client and the business, and then making money later. So some people, they just want to go straight to the boom, which is impossible. You can't just go to the roof. We have to start at the foundation. The foundation of the business is the preparation. How do you handle client? What are the business ethics that we need to discuss around before you can get to a certain level with your business?
Sure, that's really interesting that you mentioned that people want to close down because the business is not making money. And research has shown that, you know, most businesses close in the first 1,000 days of their business simply because they are not profitable, or they are not making money, or not sustainable. What advice do you give someone who is currently, during these pandemic times, having a business and contemplating closing that business because they're saying it's not making money, let me get a full-time employment, or let me look elsewhere? This business that I've invested my time, my years into is not making any money for me now.
Yes, to a person who wants to shut down the business, this is what I can say. In business, we look at the problems that led to the fall of that business. Then after discovering the major problem, then we take the major problem and then try to find different solutions or strategic forces that can rise the business again. We are not going to focus at the problem. When we have a problem, we now have to focus on coming with a solution to that problem. And then we say there's always a solution to every problem. Just sit down, check your SWOT analysis, check your weaknesses. Every business now, I know that they did not expect COVID-19, of course, but since COVID-19 came, they now have to figure out a way of, a strategy of how to deal with this in the future. If something like this comes, as a business must always be ready. For instance, an earthquake can happen anytime and affect the business. So as a business, you must be ready for things that has not yet arrived, but you need to foresee things so that in the future you have a strategy to survive in that situation.
So, wow, thank you very much, Mr. Kopano, for your time. It's been a really interesting interview, getting to understand your business and getting to understand who you are and what you do. I mean, for everyone who watched this video, just let them know how to get hold of you. Let them know your social media handles and how to get hold of you.
All right, thank you very much for the invitation again. Thank you to Hyena Phiri Production, the company. You can catch me on Facebook, Kopano Manong, Life Coaching Enterprise.
Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms, Say.G with Majali, and subscribe to our YouTube channel where we will be posting all interviews with entrepreneurs post the COVID-19 pandemic.